Yeah, we are live.
We are
So
back.
we are back. We're back with another live, the weekly wrap up for the IPL. As you can see, we are both wearing green because of all the dot balls that will be bowled tomorrow. Smoke is wearing an RCB green jersey. I mean the polo design, while I am wearing camo because it represents military thala.
Yeah, it's a tribute to our environment, and the rising temperatures are really concerning, and we highly appreciate the efforts from our leading stars of Indian cricket team, Rohit Sharma and Mahendra Singh Dhoni, for planting more and more trees in Chennai to get some cool breeze. And with
Absolutely,
that note, Tala is back yet again
he
with
is
another
back.
sequel. So it's welcome back, Tala.
Indeed. And he's back in the most beautiful of fashions because it was very poetic, right? You have Rachin Ravindra and Ravindra Jadeja, the two Ravindras of the Yellow Army, batting together, making it look like, this is a seamless finish to the game. Jadeja is about to get through the line, and then suddenly he holds one out to short mid wicket, goes for the run, realizes that the ball has reached mid wicket's hands, goes for the run anyway, gets run out, and the entire stadium erupts in happiness because their second most important player over the years has now gotten out. The so-called equivalent in terms of fan base to what ABD was for RCB is now out, and they're cheering for it. Sometimes you just wonder.
Yeah. Let's just have a small recap on how the teams are looking so far after being played one game each after the start of the season.
Yep.
Let's start with the very first game. Well,
Yeah.
although we wanted to come live after the first game, the Bengaluru weather and Bescom board didn't allow us to come live because there was a massive power outage in Bangalore, and because the power was taken by Phil Salt and Virat Kohli in Eden Gardens.
Look, there was a lot of forecasted rain for the Eden Gardens, but then as soon as the game started, all the Bangaloreans' prayer and wishes made those rains come and fall inside Jayanagara, which
Yeah.
means we got clear weather out there in the Eden Gardens, and we had a clean, seamless game without loss of any overs. And the playing 11 that KKR played was actually pretty similar to what we suggested, except for the fact that we wanted Narayan back down the order. And we saw the effects of that, right? People have started to figure out Narayan. I know he's still just as effective as an opener, but there are phases in the power play where Narayan really played a lot of dot balls,
Yeah.
and his score of 11 of 11 at one point was not helping the team's cause. Even though he ended up with a better strike rate eventually, it did not exactly help the team overall because that did end up putting a little bit more pressure on Rahane and Venki later on. But yeah, they still ended up playing the overall playing 11 pretty similar to ours. They played Spencer Johnson. We were okay with Andrik Nokia as well. But yeah, predictions were almost spot on that way.
Yeah, except that we were thinking Umran Malik to have a banger season in our preview. Just while we were editing the preview,
Umran
Umran
Malik
Malik was
got
rushed to the
banned
ambulance.
for the season. Yeah, and RCB on the other hand, very clinical batting display. The only problem I see throughout that display was DDP.
Yeah. Uh, a credit to be given to DDP. What Andy Flower has made DDP is he made DDP step out when Narayan was bowling and cheekily punched one to the mid wicket for four. Progress. We take this
It is
with.
progress, and it is a good progress to have made just before a game that is happening in Chepauk. Because if he is showing that confidence against spinners, if he's ready to use his feet, unlike what we've seen in the past, then it is definitely progress. The one other issue that he seems to have fixed, I do not want to jinx it, touch wood, cross fingers, all that stuff, but he is not moving away and exposing his stumps. He was playing in line with the ball when when they played against KKR. So good news overall. I know it didn't come off and it wasn't a large innings, but it's still progress in terms of technique.
Yeah, we take that as a win. Small progress accumulate to great things together. Uh, let's make a point on how DDP has played many domestic games in Chepauk with Karnataka side,
Exactly.
and he has some exceptional numbers in that stadium.
He does have really good numbers in Chepak, and I think that's largely because it doesn't require him to play with a higher strike rate. He can play his natural game and still do well. You can expect a 60 or 45 on that pitch, and it's not going to be too bad. Right? As long as you finish with a decent strike rate of maybe 150, 160, you have still contributed pretty well to your team. So DDP playing at 3 can afford to play an anchor role as long as everyone else around him is batting with a marginally higher strike rate. So pretty pretty suitable for him. It just comes down to how he handles the spinners at a certain point of the game.
Yeah. While we discuss about how RCB versus CSK is turning out to be tomorrow, we'll come back to the round of review of the other teams after the preview.
Yeah.
So, what's your initial thoughts heading towards the El Clasico? Will Bhuvneshwar Kumar be back to the side?
Bhuvneshwar Kumar, hopefully, look, based on the videos that RCB was putting out, I think Bhuvneshwar Kumar is fit again. I think either he had a fever or it was a minor niggle because we didn't see him bowling during the unbox as well. So I'm pretty sure he should be back in the side based on the videos at least. His stats overall aren't that impressive in Chepauk. Um, in the few games that he's played, I think he has around 10 innings that he's played in Chepauk. He's bowled around 41 overs, averages something close to 43, and has an economy of 8.5. So, not that impressive, but like you never know how it might turn out, right? Because if he's bowling in tandem with Hazelwood and Dayal, the control that these two showed on that day, if Bhuvi can pull off something similar to that, then they might cook pretty hard on this pitch. The concern, on the other hand, is the spin attack, right?
Yeah, not concern. Mm, Not really. I say we are pretty sorted with the spin department heading into Chepauk. Uh, Bhuvaneshwar Kumar might not be having those pretty impressive numbers, but it doesn't matter. It's Chennai.
Yeah.
You know what we did, what he did in Chepauk long time ago against Pakistan. He can run the batting lineup. Yeah, you make a fair point with the support he'll be getting from Josh Hazelwood and Yash Dayal. I'm not sure if he'll be there or who will be swapped. I think it will be Rasik in place
Look,
of Bhuvi.
I think Bhuvi, Hazelwood, and Dayal is the ideal combination that the team wants to go with. If by chance one of them is not available, that's when they're looking at Rasik, right? So Bhuvi's unavailability last game is what caused the team to play Rasik. Now, aside from that, they do have three spin options in Kunal Pandya, um, Suyash Sharma, and Tim David. Now, there is an option for them to play Swapnil Singh somewhere in the place of maybe an extra batter, but I'd say they could still stick with this team. And maybe if they really want an extra spinner, they could swap out Tim David for Jacob Bethel because he gives you a little bit more left arm spin.
Yeah, but Jacob Bethel looks like highly unlikely with this
Very
sorted.
unlikely.
The
Yeah,
only changes
they
we'll be
shouldn't
seeing
change. Yeah,
is in the bowling department just to see
correct.
how Bhuvaneshwar Kumar can fit in the 11.
Absolutely.
So it will be one of Rasik or Dayal having to sit out. In my case, I'd want Dayal to sit out because he might not be having much to offer in Chepauk.
Fair.
Uh, because CSK have predominantly more left-handers in their batting lineup,
Correct.
and we saw a small glimpse of what Rasik Salam can offer in the death with his variations. He was deceiving the KKR batters. That's something similar we have seen with Nathan Ellis in the first game that he played at Chepauk, which
Correct.
looks highly effective in that ground. It's clearly evident that Chennai has opted for spin to win.
Spin
Uh,
to win, of course.
Sprint events. So they'll be coming hammer and tongs with spinner. It will be a testament to the batters, quality batters who can play spin well, rotate those strikes. It's a bigger ground, get those twos. It will be dehydrating for sure. But
Absolutely.
partnerships and rotating the strike is the
Yeah.
key to success at Chepok.
And one point that I forgot to mention is they also have Liam Livingston as a spin option. That's the
Yeah.
yeah,
Shenwan.
that's what Shane
We
Warne
have the
indeed.
Shenwan from England.
You can spin it both ways. Muttaya Muralidharan and Shane Warne in one arm.
One arm. Yeah.
Yeah. No, but looks like a pretty balanced side, has a decent amount of batting depth. And I think the key to be able to play spinners freely is to not lose too many wickets up top like MI did. They went too hard against the Pacers. You shouldn't be targeting a score of 200, right? A 160 score is a very defendable score here. So I think you target 160 and in that process, see if you can accelerate to 180 later on in the innings. But the ball does give the seamers a little bit of help in the beginning. So you play that out, play the first two overs pretty carefully, get into the middle overs, play spinners. We have Rajat Patidar to handle that. He's yet to prove himself inside Chepak in his whatever short career that he's had. He's not had too many games at Chepak. I think he's played two so far. So yeah, there's a good long way to go over there.
Yeah. Uh, let's actually look at the 11, like how you want the 11 to be for the next game. So both the teams will be starting off with a win. So both the teams are 2 points each. So
Yep.
I have put the obvious top five here: Salt, Kohli, DDP, Patidar, and Livingston.
Yeah.
And number six will be Jitesh,
Jitesh, followed by Tim David.
followed by David.
So if you have David batting at seven, you're already pretty deep with your batting because Ashutosh Sharma batted at seven, Shashank Singh,
Yeah.
class, I think Hetmeyer as well batted pretty low. You have Krunal following this, so your batting
Yeah.
depth still goes down a little lower than that.
Batting
Followed
depth
by,
further goes down with Bhuvneshwar Kumar.
if you do consider him as a batter, hopefully he's improved on his batting skills. Bhuvneshwar Kumar and Josh Hazelwood. Now, we know that Rasik Salam is a brilliant hand with the bat. He can give you what Umesh Yadav used to give the Indian team at one point. Unfortunately, we don't know if he's going to play or not. For us, we do want him to play.
At 10.
It makes a lot
If
of
we have
sense.
Rasik at 10, then you have an incredible batting lineup.
True.
Then 11 will be Hazelwood.
Hazelwood. And Suyash Sharma will be your impact player.
Yeah. So that means we'll be having Yash Dayal sit out for this game. So,
But because of the past history, it does make sense poetically, cinematically to play Yash Dayal ahead of Rasik
yeah,
Salam. Just
Dhoni,
for cinema.
yeah, just for cinema. So, Dhoni walking in with what music will the Chennai crowd be playing for Tala's welcome? Not
You
many
know,
banger
I
songs produced by Anirudh, no, in the meantime, after the farewell.
perhaps not. They
Perhaps
could
not.
play. I mean, unfortunately, due to
No, bro,
copyright
Hukum
issues,
is a bit old
Hukum
for
is
now.
old now. Hukum is old. They're not playing Hukum at all.
Hukum was used extensively for his farewell already.
They will play Anganga Patia Apatike na.
How poetic would it be to play dosa, idli, sambar, chutney, chutney for Tala's welcome?
Why not? Why not?
And our man, wicketkeeper Jitesh Sharma will be waiting for his welcome.
Jitesh Sharma really did cook in that video.
Yeah,
Anyway, let's take a
so,
look at CSK's in fact Suyash Sharma. Let's look at
yeah,
CSK's playing 11.
it's Rachin, to open with Tripathi.
Yeah, I don't think they'll be changing that. Rachin opens
Yeah.
with Tripathi. Ruturaj plays at three. I do not know why he's doing that. Selfless acts, I guess.
Yeah, but it worked out for him.
It worked for Ruturaj, but did it work for Tripathi? Because Tripathi's been playing at number three all his life. I think the only time he opened was like long ago when he used to play under Dhoni in Pune Super Giants.
Rising Pune Super Giants, yeah.
Yeah,
Number 4 will be Dubey.
Dubey,
Number 5 will
Deepak
be
Huda.
Deepak
They played
Huda.
Deepak
Yeah.
Huda last game, followed by Sam Curran, Jadeja, and then Tala.
They're going to play Sam Curran again.
I'm pretty sure they will, as long as they play. They can play Noor and Ellis pretty peacefully here. So I don't think leaving Sam
Yeah.
Curran out is an option.
So
I
it will be
think
Curran.
the only scenario is where you swap out Curran for Conway and you swap out Tripathi for maybe Vijay Shankar to play lower down the order, which right now at this point of time makes no sense. Maybe at a later stage might help them out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So you have
but as far
Ash.
as I know, it should be an unchanged side for CSK. It shouldn't be too much of an issue.
Who will be there?
Ash,
Number
Noor,
11.
Khalil. Yeah,
And the impact sub will be.
Ellis.
No, you can't play Ellis, right? If you're having
You're
Rachin,
playing
Karan.
Rachin, you're playing Karan and Noor. You don't have a fourth overseas here. Ellis is still
Okay.
an option. It's the same team as last time. Ellis is the fourth overseas.
Okay, this makes a lot of sense. If you have Ash coming in at number 9, you have a good batting depth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is what it's looking like. As far as we know, better spin attack, obviously with CSK. Better batting lineup, I'd say RCB. So
Yeah.
it comes down to how DDP manages the overs between 5 and 8.
Yeah. Conway owns RCB. Hmm.
He's had one good knock against RCB, right? That's pretty much
That was
it.
in 2023. That's all.
2023, yeah, inside Chinnaswamy when Faf and Maxwell almost chased down 226. Yeah, okay. Patirana, I don't think he comes back on this pitch, bro. I think Ellis is still going to go pretty hard on this pitch. They'll be looking at Patirana in place of Karan on flatter decks because they want better death bowling options.
Yeah. See, it's a classic CSK template. CSK start a game. If they win the season, the team's going to stay the same pretty much throughout the season
Yeah,
unless they have some massive downfall mid-season.
yeah. If they face like four losses in a row, then you'll see like massive changes in the playing level. But if that doesn't happen, then more often than not, you have CSK playing a very consistent team throughout the entire season. Um, let's also talk
Okay.
about
Ankit is
how
asking for CSK bowling versus RCB batting. What What do you think are the key matchups with CSK bowling facing RCB batting?
look. I think it is going to come down to Noor Ahmed versus Rajat Patidar. I think that is the absolute pinnacle of matchups that we'll see in this game. Largely because Noor Ahmed dominated Noor versus Virat. Yes, Virat has had his good days against Noor in the past,
But he
but
has gotten out to Noor as well.
he's got no. I think he's gotten
He
out to
got
Noor twice in his career.
okay,
But he averages and strikes pretty well against Noor. That's not an issue. Uh,
okay.
the larger problem is Rajat Patidar for Noor Ahmed because of that strike rate, right? The strike rate of over 200 in the middle overs,
Yeah.
given
Patidar
that Noor has
against
performed
wrist spin is another beast.
correct. He does go a little bit slower against finger spinners, but when it comes to wrist spinners, he's pretty heavy on them, especially when they're flighting it even a little bit. So if there is a bit of flight offered to Patidar, he closes his eyes and strikes it as clean as a bullet. There is no doubt about that. I think another matchup that you will be looking at is Liam Livingston against the likes of Jadeja. because we know that Jadeja has screwed over Maxwell multiple times in his career, right?
Yeah.
Jadeja has always had the better of Maxwell for a really, really long time. I think the one exception was there was one game where Maxwell really belted the hell out of Jadeja, but aside from that, it's been a pretty clean sheet in Jadu's
Yeah,
favor.
it was the
Now that
team.
Maxwell is gone and Livingston is in, and they both bring you the same dimension, except Livingston doesn't reverse sweep too much. He's more of
Yeah,
a blind slugger.
if we have a look back of Livingston and Chepauk, uh, he hit three back-to-back sixes while playing for Punjab Kings in the
Right?
200 plus run chase game that they
Correct.
finished that was last ball thriller. So Livy
Yeah.
at Chepauk versus spin so far looking good.
So far, looking good. Now, the only issue is that I really love the way Jitesh Sharma tackles spin. The only thing is he's playing too far low down the order for him to come in and be able to face a spinner. Now, in Chepak, we do know that Tala likes to keep his spinners to bowl the 17th over sometimes.
Yeah,
Um, but we don't know if Jitesh is going to be, in the middle to play enough overs of spin to make a difference. Maybe he gets one over, but nothing more than that. Now,
yeah,
is RCB versus CSK the real El Clasico? MI hasn't won anything since 2020. Very valid, but you also need to look at the fact that head to head wise, over the years, it's only started drifting towards RCB in the recent past. Since 2019 is when we've actually made proper strides in games against CSK. Everything in between 2014 to 20 okay, let's leave out 2016, 17. 2014 and 15, CSK had the better of us. 18 and 19, honestly, up till 20, I think we won only one game.
yeah. Uh, Honestly, this head-to-head numbers doesn't really matter. The teams are going to
Yeah.
change stuff. So what matters is, let me ask a simple question: which is the most viewed game in the history of IPL?
May 18th.
There you have the answer. That's the El Clasico.
Simple.
There was a Chennai versus Mumbai game, five-time champions. You have 10 trophies each, fighting for a game. What's the viewership? Half of what RCB had for the opening game of the season. You
Exactly.
have
We
the
had
numbers.
46. I think RCB versus KKR had 46 crores, even though there was a slight contribution from the fact that Shreya Ghoshal and Shah Rukh Khan and all those guys performed at the beginning. The fact that CSK versus MI gave you around half of what the previous game gave you is testament to the fact that all the viewership lies in these games. And that is the reason why, if you take a look at the schedule, a lot of RCB's games are scheduled around weekends, Fridays, shit like that.
No, like actually, a lot of RCB games are scheduled on the weekdays to enhance the viewership.
I think that's the away games. Home
No,
games are
home
largely on. Sorry,
RCB
home
has
games are so
only
home games
one.
are on weekdays.
Yeah, RCB
Yeah,
has only one weekend game, and that happens to be on CSK.
yeah, fair. I mean, that's again viewership. Shreya didn't sing Kannada song. Yes, that is
Oh yeah,
bad.
please start a petition in the comment section below.
Sir, sing Kannada song, sir.
Yeah. Also comment like if you felt RCB Unbox was better and Timmy Trumpet had a better show than the IPL opening
Hey yo,
ceremony.
speaking of which, Timmy Trumpet replied to my DMs today,
Yeah, man is
which is
uh,
weird.
big man now.
Yeah, wait, I'm gonna pull that up and see if it's
Hey, what's this? Ticket sellers are here.
ticket sellers. Chi 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 chi. All right. So as you can see, Timmy Trumpet has replied to my DMs today.
Yeah,
Pretty big.
man is famous now.
All right.
Yeah, Vishal is
Should we
asking,
talk?
should we talk about
Traveling?
how is
Yes.
RCB traveling this season with other teams over other teams? Yeah,
Yeah. So I think RCB's travel is largely because the home and away games are split into
they're not
very
equally split.
inconsistent parts, right? You have one home game, sorry, you have two away games followed by one home game and then another away game. So it's very up and down that way, which means there's much more traveling to do. CSK, on the other hand, play two games at home before they start off, which means they stay in the same place. So there's a lot of background over there. The highest traveling team this season, for sure. I think there
Yeah,
is
I
also
saw
a
stat
case.
saying some.
There is also another case in the schedule where they play the same team twice in less than 48 hours.
Yeah, back to back. I think it's against Punjab.
Gujarat, no, sorry, Punjab, yeah,
Punjab. Yeah, they play Punjab in Bangalore. They travel to Mohali or Mulanpur and play a game over there. So
exactly,
in total, RCB will be traveling around 16,000 odd kilometers in the
kilometers,
span
yeah,
of 14 games.
exactly,
DC is playing in Vizag. That's so unfair. If we played in home ground, we would do way better. Okay, let me clear this point. The reason why DC is playing in Vizag is because DC is looking for another home venue to make it their fortress. That's one area of concern. And if you look
small,
at the ownership of DC, it's owned by GMR Group and Jindal Group. GMR
yeah,
Group comes from Andhra Pradesh or Telangana, whatever the region is over there,
yeah,
and that's why they want to play a few games in Vizag so that their home crowd can
correct.
enjoy those games.
Another important reason is the fact that Harry Brook isn't playing, so they can't really play in Delhi because they don't have anyone to test the air quality for them.
Yeah, it's a massive upgrade actually. There's not a big difference from Ferozshah Kotla to Vizag. Both are small grounds, both are flat tracks. It doesn't really make a difference. Apart from the fact that you'll be having vibes for 7 home games, that's all.
Yeah. Okay.
DC is playing in 2 venues. Let's talk about Punjab Kings playing in 3 venues. They have three
They,
home grounds.
correct.
When will they make their home ground a fortress if they are playing 3 venues? They are playing at Mulanpur, they are playing a few games at Mohali, a few at
Yeah.
Dharmshala for obvious reasons.
Yeah. It's pretty weird. They also have to, let's also look at the fact that they need to travel. So Dharamshala is one place. I don't know if they're playing in Mohali. Are they playing in Mohali this time?
Hey, they'll walk or they got flights, no chill, bro. Bro, they travel in economy class, bro.
Yeah,
It's
yeah, yeah, yeah,
stressful.
yeah. Very unfortunate. Yeah, but look, the one advantage that they have is the fact that they play three out of their last four home games all in Dharamshala. So last year's experience is going to come in handy for them. Our home is everyone's home. That is true.
Wherever
Hopefully, we
we
have the
go, we
bowling
see
lineup.
a sea of red, RCB chants everywhere.
Yeah.
We make it our home.
Yeah,
Even
no.
during the practice
What
session.
Bob's is saying is that everyone else comes to Chinnaswamy and feels very happy playing on that pitch, but the opposite also holds true.
Meanwhile, RCB was having a practice session at Chepauk, and
Yeah,
there were chants of RCB and Kohli. Meanwhile,
Kohli, and he went
a
around
few
signing. Yeah,
yeah, a few retards were telling after May 18 that come to Chepauk, da, we will
come to
see
Chip.
this, that,
Yeah,
yellow.
no, what right? It's okay. All good.
Does CSK have the strongest home ground? They have the
They have the
strongest team for
strongest
their
team
home ground.
for their home ground. Oh wow, jinx.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You made up. Let's come back to the point that you made about the 17th over spin. It's not just
yeah,
Tala having to bowl a spinner during the 17th over. We also saw Sir Rajat Patidar do this
yeah.
in Eden
Against
Gardens
Andre
against
Russell.
Andre
Yeah.
Russell.
And you heard that
That's
Andre Russell would fail here. You heard it here first. We told you
yeah,
that Andre Russell wouldn't pull up.
yeah.
Yeah.
PBK's place in Mulanpur,
Mulanpur and
Dharmshala,
then followed by Dharamshala for I think
and
their three of
Mohali.
their last four games.
Yeah.
Mohali, even I'm not sure, but that is yeah. Everyone does
Everyone
enjoy that ground.
enjoys that ground. Which ground, bro?
Yeah, Chinnaswamy. We'll talk about Chinnaswamy when we actually need to talk about Chinnaswamy. I think we can get back to actually discussing the topic here.
Yeah.
What else is there to discuss about tomorrow's El Clasico?
Uh, Dubé against
Shivam Dubey,
Suyash.
yes. Now,
Suyash
a very
or
important detail in
Kruna.
Dubey's recent past in terms of his career is that if he does show up to bat a little too late, say number five, it's not helping his cause because for some reason, if you push him down anywhere below four after the T20 World Cup final, it's not worked out for him. So Shivam Dubey really needs to work on that. I think his spin game is something that is valid only when the ball isn't turning too much, right? And this is something we saw last year as well. He scored 7 of 15 against us. No flat track, no party.
Yeah, surprisingly, last season CSK had a flat track. The average scores were 180ish. I
Exactly.
think this time it's back to 160ish kind of
Yeah, it's
score.
back to the 150, 160 pitches because now CSK have a spin bowling lineup which is equivalent to what they used to have back in the day. Last year they did not have that, so they couldn't rig the pitches to turn a little bit more. They just had to manage with what Jadeja was offering them.
Not to forget, Chepok has been resurfaced recently and the lawn has been relayed. Since it was being relayed, they have a spin friendly track made just to suit for the IPL conditions. Let's also
Correct.
talk about the fact that Chepok can have a strong home condition, a spin friendly home condition according to their needs and how their team fits. Meanwhile, when Ajinkya Rahane asked for a bit of help for the spinners,
Eden
the coach
Gardens, yeah.
said, Eden Garden said he will never listen to the captain until he's there. He'll be giving true
Yeah,
and
he'll
fair cricket.
be, yeah, which in my opinion is a little unfair to KKR.
Yeah.
It's not really going to help their cause in qualifying. I know that last year they still managed to pull it off despite the tracks that were offered there. There was still a little bit of turn last year. We saw Varun Chakravarti and Sunil Narayan bowling together and, you know, pulling off absolute terrorism against all the other teams. The issue now is that the pitch curator seems to have been butthurt by something that Gautam Gambhir might have done last year.
While last season we saw fair bit of help to the spinners, and we have heard the same statements from the curator of Eden Gardens over the years now. But it's time every other team try to make their home conditions as strong as possible.
Yeah, look, I think a lot of other teams also struggle with creating conditions that fit their team. RCB has struggled to do that in the past. We've never gotten green tops until last year, so grass on the pitches is not something that we've experienced until last year. Funnily enough, the only game in Chinnaswamy last year where the wicket was not green and it was fully flat like on cement road was the game against SRH where we got whacked for 288 left, right, and center and got rods shoved up our asses.
Yeah, it's always good to have some life on the pitch with the grass.
Yeah,
It helps the bowler, and our batting lineup is strong, capable, quality batting lineup. English friendly conditions of leaving some grass underneath the surface, so shouldn't be a big issue. So it's a plus for both the batting and the bowling side.
right. There is a question in the comments asking about Rachin's average against left
Rachin
arm spin.
especially average crazy against left arm spinner. It's not just left arm spinner. Rachin's average and strike
In
rate against
spin, yeah,
in
spin in
general
general.
is great. Uh, we said this in our preview too. Rachin Ravindra is a very good player of spin. He is the best batter
He
in
is
a
the key
CSK
for
squad.
CSK, hands down.
So
Yeah.
when it comes to playing spin and seam, there is Rachin Ravindra and there is daylight in CSK's batting lineup.
Correct. Now, another question in the comments is asking about Nicholas Puran. He has been pretty good over the past two games, but you need to remember that they're going to play the remaining games in Ekana Stadium, Lucknow, which isn't that great of a wicket. So he might be performing for the LSG, but it's not going to fetch him the orange cap because they're going to be playing on shit tips for most of the tournament.
Yeah,
So I'd say the prime contenders here for the Orange Cap once again will be the SRH openers. Um, Virat Kohli probably. I'd say
the
Quinton de
orange
Kock
cap
has put himself
contenders,
up there.
yeah, are always either the openers or the number three.
Openers.
If
It's never
Nicholas,
been. I don't think a number three has ever gotten the Orange Cap in 17 season of the IPL.
Not
It's
sure of
always been
its
an
stat,
opener.
but we'll get back to this.
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure it's KL Rahul again. I think he'll be playing at number four. So I think they're going to open with JFM and FAF, and Rahul might be playing at four after Porel. He'll be coming
Yeah,
in directly for who played at number four last time
for
for
DC,
Delhi. Yeah,
Pant,
no, hey, no. I'm talking about the previous game that they played just
previous
now.
game,
LSG versus DC.
Rizvi. They
Rizvi,
had
yeah. So Rizvi is going to be subbed out directly for KL Rahul, in my
Sean Marsh
opinion.
was. Didn't he
Sean Marsh
open?
was an opener. Sean Marsh opened, Sachin Tendulkar opened, Gale opened, um,
Uthappa opened, Kohli
Uthappa
opened,
opened,
Warner was
Kohli,
opener, Williamson
yeah,
opened, Faf didn't get
yeah.
back.
Everything in the past few years have all been openers anyway.
All
KL
been
Rahul
open.
opener again. Yeah, it's always been an opener.
Yeah.
I
So
think
highly
last year
unlikely.
Riyan Parag was pretty close to getting the orange cap for a good amount of time until he missed out on a chance to bat for 2 games in a row. He didn't get to play a longer innings, which is what put him past the orange cap leaderboard.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's almost always an opener. 99% of the time. It's very rare you see someone else. But yeah, I think we can also take a look at the previous games that have been played so far. We took a look at RCB versus KKR. Um, let's take a look at game two. Game two was, if I'm not wrong, SRH versus RR, which was an absolute fuck fest.
No. Thoughts on the Riyan Parag incident? Is it paid PR? I feel bad for the guy. Could be legit because it's his hometown. Maybe paid
That
PR,
is
whatever.
not the point in discussion here. The point in discussion is how this is happening so frequently in every other IPL match that we
Maybe
watch.
again. It's not healthy for the game or the sport. It's not really good signs. Someday a player might be injured. This has happened in the past,
It has
and
happened with Jarvo.
pitch invaders should be strictly punished in India. India, or not just
Absolutely.
India, all over the world. It's
Yes.
definitely not good for the game. We get all the uh, what the hero worship you have in India, but that's not the way to meet your heroes.
Yeah, look, I think the best example here is what we saw during the Champions Trophy at during one of the games that were happening inside Pakistan. There was a guy that came out with a signboard, a pretty controversial signboard, which was which had some details that we will not be mentioning on stream. But let's just say that it had something to do with a terrorist group or something like that. The signboard was not at all healthy for any viewers or any people watching from outside. Now, when something like that happens in Pakistan, a player's first instinct is going to be to run, right? They don't want someone getting too close to them there and something bad happening. Now, in India, it is almost always a player coming and falling, a person from the audience coming and falling at the feet of players, but you never know. I know there is security that stops them from bringing sharp objects or weapons into the ground or into the stadium, but if they jump over the fence, what stops them from going straight to one of the stumps and picking that up and whacking the player with it? Because we've seen death threats, we've seen all sorts of threats in the comment sections of all these players, and if one of these guys decide to pull up and take it into their own hands one day, because one random day Thala doesn't get to bat and Rachin Ravindra gets beaten up for that, we
Yeah.
are not you cannot hold the players responsible for the lack of security here.
Not just threats, we have seen threats of invading the pitch on purpose from
Yeah,
so-called
from
influencers.
from a certain someone, yes.
Yeah, we have BLR police reply to that dude in a classic way.
Yeah. But yeah, that's a whole other topic in discussion. The
Yeah,
Riyan Parag incident, it happened with Kohli as well a couple of days ago. Not healthy for the game, not healthy for Indian cricket, not
yeah,
healthy for any cricket anywhere for that matter.
yeah. Any sport.
So yeah,
Now let's
SRH
come
versus
back to
RR, it was
yeah,
completely expected. 286, just missed out on the high score by 1 run. RCB keeps the record. Ishan Kishan, MI, what do you do in MI? These guys have got Rickleton ahead of Ishan Kishan. And look, they've got into a scenario. We discussed this also in the preview. To play your wicket keeper, either you play them as an opener and you push your entire lineup down by one, or you pick someone who plays at number six and doesn't disturb the primary, batting lineup, the top five, the OG top five. So if they want to play both Will Jacks and Ryan Rickleton, I am sorry, but that is impossible because you are looking at Tilak Verma at four, Sky at five, Pandya at six, which makes no sense, right? So I'd say they might have to drop Will Jacks for the next game, place Tilak at three, Sky at four, Hardik at five, because they also have Naman there to follow,
Mm.
and they have pretty good batting depth later on in Santner and you know all those future candidates coming up. The other issue that MI faced was with Rohit Sharma. We'll get to that. Let's also talk about the primary reason we're discussing this. The reason we're discussing this is because Ryan Rickleton is in the team right now, and that is because they've lost Ishan Kishan, who has now gone to SRH and scored 100. Yes, he got out for a duck today, but that is what you're going to be expecting from SRH. Um,
But SRH
Solid
did
game,
286 from the first game of the season. They're
yeah,
setting the benchmark right there,
for
and
300.
for 300, they are looking for the 300. Uh, they have clear idea. What can stop? What do you think can stop SRH?
Look, there is a way to stop SRH. You will have to bowl enough dot balls to get them to swing their bat harder, right? Which is what we saw today. We saw Shardul bowl a few dot balls, which is what got Abhishek Sharma to try to whack it towards mid wicket. And that is what got him out in the first place. So is it possible to bowl that consistent line, that top of off line, give them only singles and dots, make sure that they don't go for the big one? It's easier said than done, but it takes that kind of an effort in the power play. If you do get a couple of wickets in the power play, you're already in the game. Simple as that. And again, in today's pitch was actually different from the pitch that they played on against SRH. It
Yeah,
was the next pitch. There was lesser grass on the surface.
but still, it's a
It was
flat track.
it is definitely a flat track. It was rock solid. There were a few cracks on the pitch that hadn't opened up yet. We might see those cracks open up a little later during the season, depending on how many games they play on those pitches.
Yeah, but SRH look massive upgrade with Ishan Kishan, Abhinav Manohar, and Aniket Verma. They have
Aniket,
found another gem in Aniket
solid,
Verma.
yeah. Something tells me that these scouts have started putting in a lot of effort, not just in SRH, but across all these teams. Right, so many new talents are being unearthed. We saw that with Vipraj Nigam. We saw that with the Chinaman that bowled for MI, Vignesh Putur. So yeah, there's a lot of people coming up, and we might see a completely new style of gameplay this IPL that we're not ready for.
If we have to put in our own words for today's SRH game, this was the collapse that SRH was fearing to see. But even with a worst collapse like this, the message is clear, and every new batter is going for
Has
the
to
swing.
go for it. Yes, absolutely,
So, despite that, they managed to hit 192 ish, so which is a very good score considering the collapse.
absolutely
Imagine if three out of your seven batters fire, you'll be
yeah,
200 easily. That's
correct.
how SRH is packed up. On a given good day, if five out of the seven batters click, it's done for the opposition.
Yeah, and look, the final touches weren't even given by any of the primary batters, right? It was Cummins coming in and scoring at a strike rate of 450. He got 18 of 4 balls with Harshal Patel's support on the other end with 12 around the ball, I guess. That's what topped it off at 190 for them. Or else they would have finished 170 anyway.
Yeah. Will Lara come back or they're
Are
done
they
for the
done for
season?
the season?
I think they lost at the auction when they let go Bolt, Chahal, Butter, Ashwin literally
Yeah,
four.
We
Great.
said the same thing.
Answer your question.
Look, according to us, RR and LSG were supposed to be the bottom two in the table. LSG have somehow pulled one game in their favor, but I really don't think they have what it takes to make it into the top four.
Yeah.
Same thing with RR. RR, I'd say, is even worse in this scenario because suddenly Riyan Parag isn't firing. Their number three batter is Nitish Rana, not Sanju Samson. They've lost Butler. As you said, they've lost Ashwin, Chahal, Bolt. And look, it's not about whom they've lost, it's about whom they've replaced them with, right? Sandeep Sharma is no longer going to be as effective when his two partners in crime are fucking Tushar Deshpande and I don't
And
know
Joe
who else.
Archer.
Jofra Archer, who's bowling like absolute dog shit right now.
And you have Wanindu Hasaranga replacing Chahal.
Yeah,
It
which has
surprises
happened once
me that
before.
Adil Rashid is missing a contract while Wanindu Hasaranga is getting a contract.
Absolutely. And they always say we prefer someone like Hasaranga because he can also offer something with the bat. The problem is Hasaranga has never offered anything with the bat unless he has played for Sri Lanka. And even there, it is only it's usually like a 40 of 20 or zero, right?
Yeah.
And it's never worked out in the IPL because of the quality over here. Sri Lanka
Yeah.
back then, nothing. Jafra Archer, on the other hand, has gotten washed ever since he changed his bowling action. I think we discussed this in one of our previous lives as well. His action used to be much more straight on. He used to come down with a lot of force, and the force used to be one from his elbow and two from his ankle, which is what got him injured in the first place. The elbow injury completely screwed over his action, and now it's a little bit straighter looking. And because of that, he's not generating the same amount of pace. I know he's getting the 140 plus deliveries in, but you compromise on accuracy when you try to bring in pace
Yeah,
with
he
an action
lost
like
his
that.
uh, fiery paced Yorkers, those accurate lens, he has lost them. And it's also the fact that the batting game has evolved since
For
2019.
sure. Yeah.
There were very few quality bowlers of the quality of Joe Archer or Jasprit Bumrah. There's still no other Jasprit Bumrah, but
Yeah.
what the skill sets Jofra Archer brings in, they are pretty similar, and the sidearms can replicate them pretty easily. The batters have
Exactly.
got their game. League cricket, T20 cricket, all over the globe has helped the batters upgrade their games. It's all about pace.
Yeah. Look, at this point, Jafra does not swing the ball. Jafra doesn't seem too much. He brings it forward, and his key strength back in the day used to be accuracy in terms of whether he's landing that Yorker or not, and change in pace. Right? He used to bowl a pretty good slower one. For some reason, it feels like he's lost the slower one. He doesn't bowl that too frequently anymore. He tries to bowl faster and faster. Tries to land Yorkers, bowls full tosses instead. It's a very Navdeep Saini story here, guys. We've seen this happen before.
Yeah. On the other hand, we had a pretty close encounter between Gujarat Titans and Punjab Kings last night.
Top quality game. Top quality game.
Let's make a point about how Shreyas Iyer remained not out in the 90s while he let Shashank Singh play the massive role. Had he opted to get that 100, he would have really compromised on that win. It was a marginal victory, and they got the impact player who made the actual impact. I wouldn't give much credit.
Very interesting scene with that impact player over there. So this is something that they put out in the video later. They were waiting for Gujarat's impact player before they decided on their own impact player, right? They wanted to see if it was Phillips or Rutherford who comes out to bat at four for Gujarat. Because if it was Phillips who came out to bat, they would have bowled Harpreet Brar instead as their impact player. But because it was Rutherford that came out and he doesn't do well with the outside of wide Yorkers. That's why they brought in Vaishak Vijay Kumar to bowl. And so if it was Glenn Phillips, it wouldn't have been Vaishak coming out to bowl in the first place.
Yeah. Uh, very impressive with the impact player. Lucky that they got it
So,
right.
yeah, looks Iyer and Ponting as a think tank is working out beautifully for them. As I said, the trophyless trio of RCB, DC, and Punjab. We said this in the post-auction review as well. Two of these teams you will definitely see in the playoffs this year. At least two of these teams.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, the logic behind Vaishak Vijay Kumar's wide Yorkers, let's put that a little bit more in perspective. He could have gone with any other delivery. He could have tried slower ones because that was his strength when he was playing at RCB. He was never an out and out Yorker bowler. He was more of a slower ball bowler. He used to vary his pace. He had really good variations, and the Yorker is something that he's genuinely worked on and come to play at Punjab. Now, why did he bowl the wide Yorkers? Because of the run rate, right? After what Sai Sudarshan did in the power play, they were always behind on the run rate because Sai Sudarshan played at a runner ball throughout the power play. I know he pulled his strike rate up later, but when you waste your power play and you don't get that 80 or 90 when you're chasing such a high score, you are bound to be chasing a required rate of 12 to 13 per over. Now, in a scenario like that, your wide Yorkers mean that you can give as many wides as you want, but the number of boundaries that you'll be giving away is very minimal. And that was the strat behind Vaishak Vijay Kumar's wide Yorkers because he could risk giving away a few extras there,
Yeah.
knowing that Rutherford's not going to be
I
touching them.
saw a pitch map of Vaishak Vijay Kumar. So everything was it was not even landing on the wide Yorker. It was almost landing outside the pitch or the crease. It was foolish from Rutherford to move towards the offside and try to hit a bigger one. That's something their think tank did a really great job. While Vaishak Vijay Kumar bowled a couple of full tosses, he just got away from the mighty West Indian. I don't think that will be the case. You bowl a full toss to Tim David, you will see another beast in him. So
Absolutely.
one game he got away bowling full toss. That execution of wide out Yorker, the idea might be right, but it was Rutherford at the end of the day, and it was his first game after a very
After
long time.
really long time. The last time he played was for RCB, and he won us a game against KKR. So he was
Yeah,
pretty clutch
so
for us when he played.
yeah, it was just a minor difference in the victory. The opening, I don't think why is Josh Butler playing at number three? He should be playing with Shubman Gill.
Brother, Sai Sudarshan was perfect at number three. You've taken out Ridhiman Saha. You can slot in Josh Butler to do a so much better job as an opener. They're repeating the same issue that was going on at England with Phil Salt and Duckett opening with Butler playing in at number three. It's the same issue all over again, and I really do not understand why they're doing that. Punjab, on the other hand, have a pretty good-looking opening combination with Priyansh Arya and Prabhsimran Singh. I think that's the only reason they're not able to open with Stoinis, because I
Punjab will
really,
take
really rate
also.
Priyansh Arya as a good player.
Ponting said the same thing at DC when he had Shreyas. He won't do it all talk now, to be honest. Plus, if they really want to win, they should open with Stoinis. The
That's when DC
only
started generating wins. In all honesty, when they started opening with Stoinis, when they pushed him up from number five to an opener, he got a couple of really good 60s and 70s in, which is what started getting them wins in the first place. Now we've seen that with LSG as well. Stoinis batting at the top of the order has been way more effective, hands down, no issues there.
you make
Another
a very
issue
good
is
point. Yeah.
now,
Uh,
the issue on the opposite side of the spectrum is you need to place Shreyas Iyer in the top order. You have to place Prabhsimran Singh somewhere. And Priyansh Arya has already proven that he's a fine, fantastic player. Now, if your top three is taken away, ideally you should be playing Maxwell at four and Stoinis at five. The problem here is that these idiots sent Azmatullah Omarzai at number four, which I do not understand because Omarzai came in, he hit maybe one or two sixes, that is fine. But at the end of the day, he finished with a knock of 16 or 15.
yeah. And I don't know why IPL teams never learn from others' mistakes or their own mistakes.
They
It's
push
the
Maxwell
classic
lower
case
and
study
lower
of
and
Glenn
lower.
Maxwell playing him at number four. Just give him that slot. There are few batters around this circuit who deserve certain spots in the team. It's like Virat Kohli opening. Uh, it's Glenn Maxwell at number four, Shivam
Number
Dubey at
four,
number four. Uh,
exactly.
so
Patidar
you
at
have
four. Things just work for certain batters when they play at a certain position. I don't know if it's a psychological thing or a technique based thing. It is a combination of both. But Glenn Maxwell playing anywhere
below four.
upwards or below four is going to really screw the team over because Maxwell likes the cushion of a few extra batters coming in after him. He likes to take his
Extra
time.
batters,
You
extra
you
time.
saw what happened. He walked in. He was expected to start going from ball one. Came in. He played on useless looking reverse
It's
sweep
the
and got out. That
same
is not
Punjab
Maxwell's game.
swing strategy all over again. That's what even Anil Kumble wanted Glenn Maxwell to play. He
Exactly.
got Glenn Maxwell for a pretty hefty price, made him
10.5 crores.
number six, number seven, number eight, and then they expect him to do things what Andre Russell would do. That's not the quality of Glenn Maxwell. Uh, these teams would never learn. Regarding the choke point, I think you're fairly right because too many cooks spoil the broth. Punjab have too many all rounders over there, and
Yeah.
that's always going to tempt them to play someone at three, four, make the shuffle. Ponting is
Correct.
someone who likes to shuffle things.
Yeah.
Uh, we have seen how
I was actually appalled by the fact that they let Ashutosh Sharma go that easily in the auction after what he did last year for a price of under 4 crores, if I'm not wrong.
yeah.
They bought both Maxwell and Stoinis. I thought playing Ashutosh at number 7 with Maxwell and Stoinis at 4 and 5 would have actually given them the depth that they really needed in the batting lineup because you also have Shashank Singh who's doing a fabulous job for the team.
Yeah, there's a difference in Maxwell and
This is
Livingston.
true.
Maxwell performs when no one does. Uh, yeah, Maxwell gives you like 4 out of 10 games. He can give you those big classic 4 out of 10 games, but it's not Maxwell is not someone you can bank on him for every other game. It's the same case with Livingston as well. It's a like to like replacement, and Livingston is a bit younger. He offers you leg spin and off spin both.
Yeah, look, there's pros and cons on both sides. We know that
Yeah,
Livingston and hasn't done shit over years and years of the IPL. I think he had one good season for Punjab. Same case with Maxwell, had one good season for Punjab, came to RCB, became a new player, became a shit player, got away from RCB, continued as shit. That's all.
yeah. It's see, I won't judge players based on their Punjab's performance because Punjab always tends to play with their
Play them
position.
out
That's
of
what
position.
has
Yeah,
been the story of Livingston. He has batted everywhere from the 3 to 8 position for Punjab.
correct.
If you give Livingston a clear role, this is your position, bat here. He will do the
Yeah,
job.
which is why he's been relatively more successful for England.
Yeah.
As a T20 player, he even took over captaincy for a while in the absence of Butler. And he's done a decent job overall for England. He is good with a clear, defined role being given to him, and of course, he's good with flat pitches as well.
Yeah.
PBKS has always been a curse on their middle order batters. For some reason, they've always had shit players in the middle order. I mean, they've had great players in the middle order who ended up doing badly for them because they screwed with their positions.
One good thing about Punjab Kings this season is Iyer promoting himself to number three.
Yes.
He wants to play at number three, so it's a clear sign. Iyer should definitely play at number three. He can have the massive impact for his side. Quality batter, spin
Yeah.
basher, can play seam, spin, whatever the condition it is. Most
Yeah.
reliable batter.
So let's also take a deeper look at Delhi Capitals because I
Yeah.
think that is something that we really do need to discuss because I love the team this year, right? It looks so much more different in the absence of Ganguly. It feels refreshing that this guy has been removed from the men's team and has to deal only with the women now.
Mhm.
Kevin Peterson has brought a nice new dimension to the game. And something I found very interesting during this game was they were three down. Akshar Patel is batting. Kevin Peterson is being interviewed by the commentators, and he says as he's talking, Akshar Patel chops one out and gets out, which made Kevin Peterson utter the following words: "You should take a look at the next two batters. These guys can really smash the ball, and it's never over as long as these two are there." He was referring to Vipraj Nigam and Ashutosh Sharma. Now, we all know what Ashutosh Sharma has done in the past for Punjab last year. And as I said, Punjab letting go of Ashutosh Sharma is a stupid, stupid, stupid decision, as Gavaskar once said. Um, but Vipraj Nigam popping up out of nowhere. Like, he bowled well, he bowled like pretty decently, I guess. He managed to pull off, I think, figures of. He got one wicket and then ended up leaking a lot of runs later on and gave away, I think, an economy of 17. So you look at him during the first innings and you're like, who's this fellow? Where have they brought him from? Not that great. And then you look at the way he comes into bat, because when these guys are struggling at, I think, 113 for six, if I'm not wrong, when
Yeah.
Tristan Stubbs got out. So you had Ashutosh Sharma and Vikraj Nigam come in. Ashutosh was batting at a runner ball for the first 12 balls that he faced. You wouldn't expect him to pull off a chase like that, like of 100 runs starting from there, six down. With a team like LSG requiring just four more wickets to seal the deal, that was fucking magical, bro. Like I have no words for that.
Yeah, DC, that game of DC is easily one of the top five games of DC in their entire IPL career.
Yeah. Um, the 22 point record, I'd say no. I don't
Four
think.
point, very difficult, bro.
Yeah, 4 point record is difficult largely because it's a little more dynamic this time. I think RR might have a chance if they really want to try, but they will have some good games where Samson and Jaiswal pull up and chase down targets for them. So it's difficult to do the 4 point record. I'd
The
say
22-point season, it's very difficult to replicate at this stage of the
stage.
IPL.
Yeah,
The quality of the league has enhanced by biggest of the margins,
absolutely.
but we will be seeing more number of games being played from either 26 or 27. So once the number of
Yeah,
games are
yeah.
increased,
Once the number of games increases, that's
I
going
think
to
that
be, yeah.
that will break the barrier of 22 points. That will also break the
Also
barrier
break the
of
barrier of 973 that Kohli said.
yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So once the number of games increases, I think it is a given fact that someone is going to touch the 1,000 run mark at some point. Um, Look, the game is evolving. You can't hold on to old records. 263 happened back in the day in 2013 when the game was nothing. Now 250 is chilre kasu, as
Yeah.
some would term it. But another important detail I want to discuss is the way LSG completely screwed over their own game against Delhi, because they had that in the bag. When Mohit Sharma was batting on the WhatsApp group, I texted saying this mofo is going to get out first ball. What does he do? Let's go off his back foot, tries to poke at a ball right on his off stump, misses it, goes right into Pant's hands, and then Pant lets it go, misses the stumping, and the entire world is chanting Tala's name all over again. Bro, Gale revolutionized the game. Okay, Christopher Henry Gale is the poster boy of T20 cricket. The universe boss shall forever be unparalleled. Even today, in terms of impact, in terms of where the IPL is right now, it made that first step in that direction because of Chris Gale in 2011. Vijay Mallya's call when Chris Gayle was at a stupid ass party is what made that happen. He was ahead of his
The
time for sure.
most important call in the history of IPL.
History of IPL. Dirk Nanes, thank you, brother. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dirk
Let me,
Nanes and Davnit Sisodia have two special places in the hearts of RCB fans.
yeah, let me also tell you a fact. The last time Chris Gayle played was in 2021, if I'm not wrong.
21.
21 was his last season, uh, where he got very few games to play in the
He
2020
was
season.
benched.
One season he was benched. They had Kale, Mayank, a lot coming through the Punjab ranks. Uh,
Yeah.
it might take three more seasons for someone
For someone to touch his sixth record. Yeah.
six record. That's what Gale's impact is in IPL. It's pretty insane that three can be achievable, or it could
Yeah.
be even four more seasons.
Correct. Because look, you're not looking at Rohit Sharma and you can't expect him to score 36s in a season for 3 seasons in a row. So that's not happening. If it happens, it might happen if Virat Kohli is back at this stage. There is absolutely no doubt that Christopher Henry Gale revolutionized not just IPL but T20 cricket as a whole.
Yeah,
And in all honesty, we should sit down and make a video dedicated to Chris Gale
yeah.
at some point. Yeah, on the cards. That will come out soon enough. We'll work
Yeah,
on that. Cinema.
it's Chris Gale, AB, Pollard, Malinga. These are the four
Bravo.
legends of the IPL
Bravo
right
as
now.
well. Bravo as well.
Bravo. Yeah, they these five legends revolutionized IPL, and IPL is what it is today because of these five legends.
See,
They
you
took
could
it.
you could probably add Sunil Narayan to that list, but in my opinion, Narayan was chucking throughout his peak
Yeah,
career.
I
The
would never
action
have.
got banned. The action got banned, and then he came back with this weird ass, dumbass action like this. But it's he's still done enough over his career to have
But not a flag bearer for the IPL to be what it is today. So,
yeah, because he's had certain controversies with his action, which have
yeah.
Tala fans will cry because of Varun Chakravarti, brother.
Speaking of Tala fans crying, yeah,
It is today. Today is the day.
it's today. Today's the day. You cried for his welcome.
How is it 1 a.m. already? How have we been live for 1 hour? Who's watching us?
It's just been Abhishek. Thank you, Abhishek, for
Thank you,
staying up and
Abhishek.
watching us yap for one longer.
Thank you for being jobless enough in life to deal with us. But is there anything else left to discuss? I think we can close out for the day
Yeah,
because we have a very important live session which will happen together tomorrow.
yeah,
We will go live with at least four other people in the house.
yeah. Hopefully. So, unless there is some power outage or massive thunderstorms in Bengaluru tomorrow, uh, we shall see you tomorrow, right after RCB versus CSK game. Do this after every game for the whole season. That's the plan, brother. Yeah.
That's the plan. We'll see how far we can push
We
it
were just
because
waiting for
we do
one.
have jobs.
We were just waiting for every team to finish at least one game so that
One
we can
game.
start.
Yeah.
And hopefully, we'll be consistent throughout the season, like Chris was. Yeah. Until
All
then,
right.
very good
Like,
night.
share, subscribe. Hope that RCB wins tomorrow.
Comment.
Bid against the comment, subscribe, all the usual stuff. You know what? Yeah, do that stuff.
Yeah, do
Okay.
that.
Jai Hind, Jai Karnataka. Mwah, love you.
And yeah, good night.
See you. Good night.